Roll up, roll up. Welcome one and all to the second annual book awards. I am so excited to be sharing this with you. I made this video last year and it's been one of my favorite I made, and this year it's basically exactly the same. It's just I've added a few more categories, so instead of 18 awards there is 24, and instead of one book being allowed to win one award, it can win 2 awards this year. So yeah, get a drink, get a snack, get comfortable, and without further ado, let's get into this video. So the first award is for the most impactful read of the year, and the nominees are Cheer the F Up by Jack Rook, Queer's 8 Monologues compiled and curated by Mark Gatiss, and Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Fredrik Backman. This is translated from Swedish by Henning Co. And finally, The Madonna of Bolton by Matt Kane. And the winner is Cheer the F Up by Jack Rook. This is an extremely incredible non-fiction book, part memoir, part self-help. It really impacted me, and I keep thinking about this book nearly every single day. I absolutely adore it and I implore everybody to read it. So you are the worthy winner of the most impactful read. Congratulations. Next we have the most unique book, and the nominees are Subcutanean Seed 08193, I believe. I'm not actually sure, I think I just made that up, by Aaron Reed, Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, The Appointment by Katharina Volkmar, and The Queering by Brooke Skipstone. And the winner is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. This book is unlike any other. The reading experience is so enjoyable, and just the way things are uncovered and come together, and the way you're just following this character, like, and yeah, it just felt like a whole like fever dream, and I just had to keep on turning the pages and pages. It was addictive, and I literally would sell my soul to be able to read this book for the first time again and uncover things again, because it was just really great. Go into this book blind, not read any reviews or anything like that, just go into it blind and you will have a very fun time. So yeah, worthy winner of the most unique read. The next award is for the most surprising book, and when I tell you the nominees, I will just preface them by saying why I thought they were surprising for me, because obviously it's different for everybody. But the first is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This was surprising because I cried multiple times. I was so invested, and this is a mythological retelling, and I would never have thought I would be that invested in a book about like myths and mythological creatures and people. So yeah, that is why this is on the surprising list. Then we have Morris by E.M. Forster. This is surprising because this story arc, the characters, and just the writing as well sort of just feels so modern. This was written in 1914. It was published in 1970 after Forster's death, and this just it feels like it could have been written 10 years ago, and the reading experience would have been exactly the same. I totally enjoyed this. I loved it, and yeah, like I said, it just feels so modern, so that's why it's surprising. Then we have Notes and Execution by Danica Kafka. This is really surprising for me because the last thriller I read before this was Paper Ghost by Julia Herberlin, and that was utter trash. And I didn't think I was gonna like sort of like thriller-ish books, like literary books, and this book just totally like changed that opinion, and it ignited like a enjoyment and a want to read more books that contain similar topics to this that previously I thought I wouldn't have liked at all. So that's why this is surprising and a nominee. And lastly is Animal Farm by George Orwell. I did not like 1984 like much at all, really. I understand its literary heft. I just didn't like the story of the characters or really anything that happened. But this was so fun. I really enjoyed Animal Farm. I just loved the way like things came together, and like the not eulogies, the connections, and like what it was trying to say. And yeah, so I read this originally in high school, and I absolutely hated it. I thought I'd never read it ever again, or anything by Orwell again. But I ended up really enjoying this, and I think already knowing that it's a take on the Russian Revolution, going into it made the experience a lot more enjoyable, because I could see the similarities and things. And yeah, that is why this is really surprising and why it's on this list. So yeah, they're the nominees, and the winner is Notes and Execution by Daniel Kakavka. I don't need to say anything else. Congratulations, absolutely adore and love this book. Read it now. Next we have a not so good award, and that is for the most disappointing read. And the nominees are Mary or the Birth of Frankenstein by Anne Eekhout, Different for Boys by Patrick Ness, Last Words from Montmartre by Chu Miao-jin, translated from Chinese by Ari Larissa Heinrich, and finally Dear Evan Hansen by Val Emick. And the winner is Different for Boys by Patrick Ness. I really did not like this book much at all. I read it as an arc. It was just very disappointing. I did not like the characters. They just felt like caricatures of like teenage boys. Didn't like the messages. Personally, I thought the artwork was ugly, unattractive, messy, and as well as that, it didn't add anything to the plot or the story. It had blacked out words that made no sense. It made it confusing, and there was no reason for it. Personally, I felt like it was a gimmick, just an added bonus for some reason. Yeah, I don't think it's a good portrayal of queer boys at all, and I hated it near enough. But yeah, anyway, that is the most disappointing read, and let's get on to some more positivity now. And for some positivity, we've got the funniest read, and the nominees are Cat Lady by Dawn O. Porter, The Madonna of Bolton by Matt Kane, The Appointment by Katharina Volkmar, and Sounds Like Fun by Brian Moriarty. And the winner of the funniest read is The Appointment by Katharina Volkmar. This is so weird and wacky, and basically we're following a woman who goes to her appointment with a Dr. Slagelman, and although she can just like see like I think the top of his head or something, she just muses on her life and just tells him like everything, just so raw and honest. And she is a utter weirdo, but she's very funny, and the thing she says is just so bonkers and out there, and I really loved it. But it also has some meaning to it as well, and it talks about like what it's like growing up as a German and like the historical shame of that, and also about her like identity and sexuality. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was such a fun time, and I would so recommend this book. Now we have the saddest read, and the nominees are Cheer the F Up by Jack Rook, Tin Man by Sarah Winman, In the Absence of Men by Philippe Besson, and Son of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And the winner of the saddest read is oops daisy, Son of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Oh my, I cried for a solid 30 minutes maybe at this book. Yeah, it is so sad and so emotional, and just I couldn't. What I think also made it sadder is because in the middle it drags quite a bit, and I was losing my interest, and then it sort of builds up really quickly, and then something happens and I'm like shattered. And yeah, just like the quotes in here is exquisite, and they add to like the emotiveness of this book as well. And yeah, I absolutely love this, but it did break me, and it is a very sad book. So go into that be warned, but also it is beautiful and amazing, and I absolutely loved it as well. So yep. Oh, to be honest, all of these books were given 5 stars, and I loved all of them so much. So when a book does make me feel sad and like I have that connection to it, it all usually means I love it as well. So yeah. Next we have the ugliest cover. Quite arbitrary, it doesn't really mean anything. It obviously doesn't impact the book, but it's an award nonetheless. And the nominees are Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I think this is disgusting. I hate it so much. I really do not like that book cover. Lovers by Daniel Arsan, translated from French by Howard Curtis. I just think this is so like moody and just, I don't know, it makes me feel tired and a little bit ill looking at this book. But yeah, then we've got The Discomfort of Evening by Marieke Lucas Rijneveld, translated from Dutch by Michelle Hutchinson. Again, this makes me feel sick. I hate it. I think it's disgusting. And finally, Summer by Laurie Lee, a little short. I gave it to my mum, but I think she's lost it, and I honestly don't care. I didn't like that book anyway. But the winner of the ugliest cover is, honestly, it can change any day, but right at this moment, just re-looking at it and rethinking about the book and everything like that just brings back so many disgusting memories, and for that reason I'm choosing The Discomfort of Evening by Marieke Lucas Rijneveld. Some people like this cover. I think it's hideous. I do like the fact that it's an artwork, but I just that on the front of what's inside of this, no, it makes me want to be sick right now. This book is disgusting, it's vile, it's just so horrible and so unnecessary. So much of what happens in here, I absolutely despise the reading experience, and I would probably never recommend it to anyone ever. And the cover also makes me feel ill. So yeah, that is that. The next award is another one that doesn't really mean anything, and that is the most beautiful cover. But all of these are lovely and I love them so much. The nominees are Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. It's just so simple, and I just love like the side eye, and I just think it's so simplistic but meaningful, and I absolutely adore it. And also my edition with the type script thing on it, absolutely love that, adore it. Great book as well. Then we have Are You Happy Now by Hannah Jameson. Just that ombre is exquisite. The way like the word goes through the character, and I just think this is beautiful. It is so beautiful, and it goes onto the back. And yeah, also like the ombre just is everywhere, and it is such a beautiful ombre as well. Then we have Days at the Murasaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagasawa, translated from Japanese by Eric Ozawa. This, I'm just going to put these down because they're quite heavy. This is so pretty. Oh, God. Yeah, just like, also this volume, it sort of like shines parts of like the leaves and some of the books. It's exquisite, and it's such a good cover for the book as well. And finally we have Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Cher Lee. I just think it's just so pretty, and that like green color is really beautiful, and like the little dog and their characters Theo and Dylan, and yeah, so cute. So yeah, and the winner of this, honestly, again, it can be any, but for me at this moment in time, and it's been like this for a long time, I just think this cover is so pretty and beautiful, and that is Days at the Murasaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagasawa. It's just so pretty, and it like just everything, like the blue and the books and like the bike and the cat, and just, yeah, do you know what I mean? It's just so pretty, and it just looks like a storefront, and like you would want to go into that storefront any day of the week. And yeah, congratulations. Next award is for the best contemporary novel or book, and the nominees are The Appointment by Katharina Volkmar, The Madonna of Bolton by Matt Cain, and Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Backman, and Are You Happy Now by Hannah Jameson. And the winner is The Madonna of Bolton by Matt Kane. I adore this book with every fibre of my being. I've put it in the contemporary category because it is, but it does also start with our main character like when he's 9 in the 80s, but it does go up in time, and I just think it just embodies like the queer contemporary like ideology so well, and like what it feels like to grow up queer, and also like ideas of like queer shame and this notion of it gets better, and I love this so much. It's beautiful, it's amazing. It did make me cry multiple times, but that's not because it's sad, it's because my brain just wasn't working at the time. I adored these characters, and yeah, it really made me think what is a good book, and this is certainly a very good book, and I absolutely love it. So worthy win of best contemporary for me. And in contrast to the best contemporary, we've got the best historical, and the nominees are In the Absence of Men by Philippe Besson, translated from French by Frank Wynne, Lovers by Daniel Arsand, The Promise by Damon Galgut, and Radical Love by Neil Blackmore. And the winner is Radical Love by Neil Blackmore. I really enjoyed this book. I love like the historical setting of 1809 in London, and it follows a priest who was a real priest, by the way, but Blackmore has fleshed him out and embodied him and created a story around this character, and he performs weddings at a molly house for queer men at the time, and it's just drawn a time of like upheaval and intense like homophobia and just like barbaricness, but there's also a love story, and I really enjoyed this book, and it's such a great historical novel and queer novel as well, and I would so recommend it, obviously. So yeah, next we've got the best romance, and the nominees are Fate Dates and Mooncakes by Cher Lee, Sounds Like Fun by Brian Moriarty, Our Dining Table by Mita Ori, this is a manga, and Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. And the winner is Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Cher Lee. I really enjoyed this book. The romance between Dylan and Theo is absolutely adorable. It's sort of like a fake dating trope, and ... but also there is so much more about like these characters sort of like coming together and exploring their own lives, and Dylan dealing with like the loss of his mum and trying to like get close to her, and his like passion for cooking and his like Chinese heritage and family is just second to none. He is such an amazing, lovely character. I loved his whole family, and yeah, I really enjoyed this book. This is a YA romance, and I just think it was done so well, and I think probably going forward, any new romances I pick up are probably only going to be YA, just because I think it just suits my personal preference a lot more than what adult romance is. And yeah, I adore this. It's so cute, and would so recommend. It's lovely. And away from the fluff and into the violence, because we've got the best mystery or thriller book, and the nominees are What July Knew by Emily Ko, Confessions by Kina Minato, translated from Japanese by Stephen Snyder, A Sentence by Christina Dalcha, and Eye for an Eye by MJ Arledge. And the winner is The Sentence by Kanate Minato. I love this. I love this. It was such a great thriller-ish book. It's about a teacher that knows that one of her students has killed her daughter, and she gives like a speech saying how she's going to enact her revenge. And then what from that is just the spiraling of this revenge on different characters, and we get different characters' points of view and different like ways of telling the story in a sense, and yeah, it's not rehashing the same thing, it is moving forward, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's such a gripping like thriller book, and you just have to read on and on and on. I loved it, and I need to pick up her other book, Penance, which hopefully I shall be doing this year. Now we've got the best classic, and the nominees are Animal Farm by George Orwell, Morris by E.M. Forster, The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, and The Little Prince by Antoine. Yep. And the winner of the best classic is Morris by E.M. Forster. I adore this classic. It is so good. It follows Morris Hall as he is coming of age and coming of himself and understanding his sexuality, and he has two relationships with two men, his Cambridge equal Clive, and also Alec, who is a farmer person thing. I can't remember the word now, but he works on the land, and it deals with like class and sexuality, and yeah, it's amazing. Like I said before, it also feels so modern, and yeah, this has overtaken A Christmas Carol and Handmaid's Tale as my favorite classic ever. I absolutely adore this. I need to give it a reread, and yeah, I love it. I just wish this had been published earlier, because it might have changed queer politics in the UK and like societal views and stuff maybe more so. And I adore the ending of this book so much, and read it please. Now I've got the best non-fiction book, and all of these absolutely loved, but the nominees are Cheer the F Up by Jack Rook, The Terrible by Yasa Daly Ward, Landbridge by Edang Trung, and The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. And the winner for the best non-fiction book is Cheer the F Up by Jack Rook. Like I said before, this is a part memoir, part self-help book. It is so necessary, and I love the way that Rook isn't just helping the self with one's like struggles and like mental health problems and dealing with like growing up like gay and like going to university and sort of like imposter syndrome and like losing a parent and like grief, and also grief of a friend, and loads of different things like that. So it's not just helping the self, which is obviously so necessary, but it's helping the people that are helping other people, if that makes sense, because of obviously the strain on mental health services and the epidemic that we're going through with mental health, and it's the burden in some sense. I don't want to use that term, but in some ways it does feel like that for some people, is going to the friends and family of people that are suffering, and this is a great book for helping those people. And yeah, also it's just such a great like memoir and so well written, and I absolutely adore this man. It made me feel like I was reading like a fiction book, because I was just so ingrained in his life and the lives of other people in this book. And I just adored it. I loved it. It was so amazing and so good, and I implore everybody and anybody to read this book. And yeah, also it's really funny as well sometimes, which is a great like takeaway. And yeah, I love it. Read it please. Next we've got a new category, and that is the best translated work. Nominees are All Men Want to Know by Nina Burari, translated by Anis Abbas Higgins from French, The Appointment by Katharina Volkmar, In Absence of Men and Confessions by Philippe Besson, and Confessions by Kane Minato. And the winner is In the Absence of Men by Philippe Besson. This is an exquisitely written, beautiful book, translated from the French, and I think what Besson does so well is that his writing is so razor sharp and concise, and the translator Frank Wynne perfectly encapsulated this. He just done it so well, and he kept the nuances and just the beauty in the writing, but also the harshness and rawness of the book as well. And yeah, I adore this. It follows Vincent, who is 16, and he has a relationship with an older soldier, who then goes away to the front, and also begins a friendship with an older writer called Marcel Proust. And then in the second part he shares letters between them, and in the final part it's a exquisite scene between Vincent and Blanche, who is the mother of Arthur the soldier, and it is just so well written and penned, and I adored it. It was incredible, so good. So yeah, 100% recommend this book, and that is the worthy winner of the best translated work. Also new for this year is the best poetry collection, and the nominees are Soho by Richard Scott, I Hope This Finds You Well by Kate Bear, Canto and Other Poems by Joel Taylor, and The Terrible by Yasser Daly Ward, and the winner is The Terrible by Yasser Daly Ward. I think this is an exquisite, amazing poetry collection, tree and a memoir. So it follows her as she's growing up in the north of England, and then as she moves, like I think it's to Manchester. Yeah, and also just like her dealing with her family, her mother, and her little brother Rue, and understanding her sexuality and like the oppression she sort of felt in like a small northern town, and also like the excesses of like youth and those sort of things, like sexuality and just like a lot. And the end, like the one before the end called Almanac something, just made this go from like a 4.25 right up to a 5. It is so good, and I have so much like underlined and like starred and stuff in here. I'm probably not showing you anything, am I? But there's just a little bit. And yeah, really enjoyed this poetry collection, so recommend, and you are the winner of the best poetry book, so seems fitting, don't it? Next we have the best YA book, and the nominees are Mooncakes by, it's a heavy book, Suzanne Walker and Wendy Xu, Pride by Leona Story, Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Shirley, and Hearts of Volume 5 by Alice Oseman, and the winner is Fake Dates and Mooncakes by Shirley again. I think this is such a great YA romance, and I'm not going to say anything more what it's about, but it's just so good, and I really enjoy this book, and I would so recommend it. It's a really good YA, and I loved it, and I would read anything this woman writes again, so yay. Then we have the best children or middle grade book, and the nominees are Matilda by Roald Dahl, The Terrible Thing That Happened to Barnaby Brockett by John Boyne, Small Town Pride by Phil Stamper, and The Wonder Team and the Forgotten Footballers by Leah Williamson and Jordan Glover. She's the England Lioness captain, by the way. And the winner is Small Town Pride by Phil Stamper. I really enjoy this book. I think this is such a great children's like middle grade age directed book. It follows the main character, I forgot his name now, which is kind of bad, Jake, and he recently comes out as gay, and his family and friends are all so happy and supportive, but there's people in the town that are not so much, and his dad, to show his support, puts up this massive pride flag in front of their house, and then people are all contacting the mayor being like, what's happening, what's going on, we can't have this, what's next, what's going to happen next, is there going to be a pride parade? And Jake and his friends is feeling like, you know what, why not? And that's all I'm going to say. It's really entertaining. I love the characters. They're very fleshed out, and it's just really enjoyable and has such great messages. And there's also maybe a little bit of a romance blue in, which is super cute. And yeah, so recommend this. And I can't wait to read more by Phil Stamper. I've got some of his YA books. I just haven't read them yet, but I need to, and especially after reading this. So yay, worthy winner of the best children's and middle grade. Next we have the best graphic novel, and the nominees are All Princes Die Before Dawn by Quentin Zouton, Ladies of Legend by Blanche Saba, Mooncakes by Wendy Xu and Suzanne Walker, or Hearts of Volume 5 by Alice Oseman, and the winner is Hearts of Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. Once again, this is an exquisite, beautiful graphic novel, so well like drawn and written. I adore these characters. We're following Nick and Charlie again, our Volume 4 that broke me, and they're sort of just growing in their relationship and their future and thinking about what's coming up next. Nick's with like university options, and Charlie just sort of like getting better from his time dealing with his mental health and eating disorder problems. I think it's such a great portrayal, and yeah, I just really enjoyed this book. It's such a great graphic novel, and I would so recommend it. Next award is for the best manga, and the nominees are See You Later Mermaid by Dentu Hayane. I'm sorry if I haven't said that right. Boys Run the Riot Volume 2 by Keitu Gaku, Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide by Mone Sarai, and Our Dining Table by Mita Ori. And the winner of the best manga is Our Dining Table by Mita Ori. I love this. It is so adorable. This follows Yutaka, a salaryman, but he actually has a passion for cooking, and then he meets two brothers, Minoru and Tane, and they just share meals together and become friends, and a little romance blooms, and it is so adorable. Also, like the manga, like the drawings are really pretty. I love like the expressions on the faces, and just yeah, I love it. It's so cute, and it's a worthy win of the best manga, and I adored it, so go read that. Next we have the most beautiful writing award, and the nominees are In the Absence of Men by Philippe Besson, The Terrible by Yasser Lady Ward, Notes and Execution by Danica Kafka, and All Men Want to Know by Nina Bouri. And the winner is In the Absence of Men by Philippe Besson. This man can write, and he sure does. It is beautifully written. It is, like I said before, so like razor sharp and concise, and it's so clear that he must do so many rounds of editing to get what he wants to say into a very small amount of words, but for them to just impact you and have the most like hard hittingness. And yeah, it's beautifully written, and undoubtedly the winner of this category. The rest of these are very close, but I think this is still a big forerunner in the most beautiful writing, just like his other book Lie With Me is exquisite, beautiful writing. I love this man, and I want to learn French just so I can read everything this man has written, but I don't know if I can do that, you know, but we shall see. We have the third before last award, and it is for the best almost 5-star, and the nominees are A Trans Man Walks Into a Gay Bar by Harry Nicholas, Circe by Madeline Miller, Soho by Richard Scott, and Are You Happy Now by Hannah Jameson. And the winner is Are You Happy Now by Hannah Jameson. I read this as an arc super early in the year, and it is still really stuck with me, but it's not a full-blown 5-star. It is a 4.75. It is still incredible, amazing, and I implore everyone to read this. There were just some parts that wasn't 100% to my liking, but this follows 4 different characters: Yoon, Emery, Andrew and Finn, and they're all at a wedding in New York, and then this woman just sits down and she refuses to get up, and it's sort of like a dystopia, sort of like trying to work out what is going on, but it's much more than that. And it is about, it's commentary on sort of like the mental health crisis in a sort of way, and just different people's like lives, and relationships and people dealing with like their sexuality and coming of themselves, and so much more. I really enjoyed this book. I loved it, and it's definitely a worthy winner of this category, and I implore you to read it, but also read any of the other nominees as well. So good. Next we have the worst war to get, but it is still an award nonetheless, and that is for the worst read of the year. And the nominees are The Discomfort of Evelyn by Marieke Lucas Reineveld, Alice at the Fire by Jon Fosse, translated from Norwegian by Damien Searles, Herland by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and finally Burying Eva Flores by Jennifer Alsaver. And the winner is Herland by Charlotte Perkins Gilman's. I can't remember her name, but anyway, that is terrible, crap, disgusting, vile. I hate that book with every single fibre of my being. I just think the story is really bad. The characters are terrible. The messages are just bad. The writing is poor, is so poor. And yeah, I hate that book. It's about these three guys that get lost in this place called Herland, and all these women just care about like the ability that they can reproduce and motherhood and bringing up other women. It's maybe called a Lost Feminist Utopia, but I'm seriously just like, where, like, how things don't add up, love. They do eugenics and genocide, and there's racism, and it's not explicit but likely homophobia, because all these women have been kept on this place for so many years, and not once have any of them decided to, you know, get it on. So that don't really make sense to me, love. But anyway, that is terrible. I absolutely hate it, and now I don't need to think about those bad books anymore, because I'm probably not going to do any more bad content. So yep, bye, goodbye, good riddance. And the final category is the best read of the year, and this is hotly contested. I have 4 books here that are the nominees, that it can really change. Like, each one of these has held top spots at different times during the year, but at the moment I am happy with the list and the top spot. And without further ado, the nominees for the best read are Queer's 8 Monologues, curated by Mark Gatiss, Cheer the F Up by Jack Rook, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and The Madonna of Bolton by Matt Cain. And the winner of this category is The Madonna of Bolton by Matt Cain. I love this so much. It follows Charlie on his 9th birthday. His 80s icon of an aunt gives him the record for Lucky Star by Madonna, and this love of Madonna just follows him throughout his whole life. It's about him growing up queer in Bolton, and just like the struggles that comes with, and like bullying in school, and like school life and friends, and moving on to university and the working world, and just sort of like missed opportunities queer people feel they have had because they have repressed parts of themselves. And just so much. I love this book with every single part of me. It is so special, and so it holds such a special place in my heart. I love this man and what he writes, and I cannot wait to read literally anything and everything he writes. So yeah, this is undoubtedly the worthy winner of the best read of the year. I implore everybody and anybody to read this, and congratulations. Yep, congratulations. So yeah, that is the end of the 2nd Annual Book Awards 2023. I really hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to give a like and subscribe if you would like to do so. And yeah, I don't really think I have anything else to say apart from have a nice morning, even though wherever you are in the world, and I shall be seeing you very soon. Bye.